magnificently framed by towering rock formation and soaring red circles, which surround the area for as far as the eye can see. There is truly nothing like it anywhere on the planet.
Alright, today I want to teach you about the many different aspects of Lake Powell. Today I will be going over the history of Lake Powell, the Glen Canyon Dam, and the landmark known as Rainbow Bridge. Glen Canyon, which is now Lake Powell, was first discovered in 1869 by an explorer by the name of John Wesley Powell. He was the first person to conduct a scientific and geological survey of the canyon. However, the idea of turning Glen Canyon into a lake wasn't brought up until the early 50s. Robert McPherson from OnlineUtah.com writes, on October 15, 1956, President Dwight D. Eisenhower pushed a button from his desk at the White House, which started a blast that initiated the construction of the Glen Canyon Dam in Arizona, 80 miles below the Utah border. In 1957, the Navajo tribe exchanged more than 53,000 acres bordering the south bank of the Colorado River for the McCracken Mesa in Utah. This transfer provided the land for the dam. Later agreements waived their rights to 4,300 acres of Colorado River water necessary for the operation of the dam. On February 11, 1959, water was diverted through the tunnels so construction of the dam would begin. Later that year, the bridge was completed, allowing trucks to deliver equipment and materials for the dam. The Glen Canyon Dam was completed on September 13, 1963. Water was no longer being diverted through the tunnels and was now backing up the Colorado River. The flooding of the Glen Canyon Dam formed Lake Powell. It took 17 years for the lake to rise to the high watermark on June 22, 1980. Since then, the water level has changed due to the seasonal snow runoff of the Rocky Mountains. Jim Moore from AllAboutRivers.com states that the Colorado River flows have been average since the year 2000, below average since the year 2000, leading to lower lake levels. In the winter of 2005, the lake reached its lowest level since filling about 150 feet below full pool. As of today, the lake level has risen 78 feet since 2005. Now that you know how Lake Powell came to be today, let me inform you about the Glen Canyon Dam. The Glen Canyon Dam is a dam on the Colorado River in Page, Arizona. This location was selected by a group of Bureau of Reclamation engineers and geologists from 1946 to 1948. This site met several criteria. It could contain an immense amount of water. The canyon walls and bedrock foundation were strong and stable enough to support the dam, and a large source of good rock and sand was available nearby. Shelley James, a writer for CanyonCountry.com, states the dam provides water storage for the arid southwest United States to generate electricity for the region's growing population and to provide water recreation opportunities. Concrete placement started on June 17, 1960, and was continued around the clock until the last bucket of concrete was poured on September 13, 1963. It took over 5 million cubic yards of concrete to make up the dam. The Glen Canyon Dam is 710 feet tall, with the surface elevation of the water being full at approximately 3,700 feet. The concrete arch dam has a crest length of 1,560 feet. It is 20 feet wide at the crest, which is the top, and 300 feet wide at the maximum base. It is 583 feet above the Colorado River, and lastly, the construction of the dam cost $155 million and 18 lives were lost in the process. Lastly, I will illustrate for you the beautiful landmark known as Rainbow Bridge. Dave Webb from Utah.com states, Rainbow Bridge is administered by the Glen Canyon National Recreation Area of southern Utah. It is often described as the world's largest natural bridge. It is a rock span of salmon red Navajo sandstone arcing over the bridge canyon. It is located about 12 miles northwest of the Navajo Mountain in broken and deep canyon country of southern Utah. It was formed by the action of Bridge Creek as it flowed down the Navajo Mountain gradually. It spans out about 275 feet, and at the top of it is 42 feet thick and 33 feet wide. Lastly, Rainbow Bridge is 290 feet tall. It can be easily accessed by a 2-hour yacht ride on Lake Powell or by hiking several miles overland from a trailhead. Now that you all know a little bit more about Lake Powell, what it looks like and how it was created. Also, you know the basics of Glen Canyon Dam, how it was built, and what it looks like. Lastly, you know the structure, size, and shape of Rainbow Bridge. I hope you are all now a little more informed about Lake Powell. Thank you.
All right, so Andrew, what did you think?
Playing the intro, I thought it was a little rocky, transition from the video straight to your pieces. I'd like to maybe smooth that out a little more. You looked a little jittery up there at first, leaning on the podium, crossing your legs, and you connected eyes with the audience, but I think you did a little too much reading. You were very good on your citations, but I would rather hear, like, the videos started saying more about, like, the lake and, like, how beautiful it is, and that's what I thought you were trying to get across, but you went into, like, detail about, like, the dam and when the water level rose or something like that, and I'd rather hear about the lake, and, like, Rainbow Bridge was good, rather than about the dam and how much concrete's in there. Yeah, like I said, a little too much about the dam. I thought should have shifted your focus more to just on the lake, and yeah, other than that, I like the visuals, pretty good.
All right. You picked out a couple of things that I thought were also issues. I do think that you have a hard time getting a transition from the video clip that you have to the speech. We know what the topic is, but it just seems very awkward. And you don't really speak, except you just dive right into, here's my thesis, basically, after the video clip. So you need some transition there. The material that you've got in the speech runs into, it sounds like random facts that would be given by a tour guide who is leading somebody through the dam, you know. Well, you know, there's this amount of concrete and 18 men died doing this, and it's this wide at the base and this wide at the crest, and, you know, we traded this number of acres and so on and so forth. And that's not unimportant information, but I don't think that it makes a very interesting speech. It just is, it's just data. You've got to put it together a little bit more so that there's a point that you're making about this. Is the building of the dam something that was an engineering feat that was phenomenal or interesting, or was the creation of the lake something that is unique in all of the lakes that have been created by dams around the world? Is this particular spot in the world something that we should visit because of those unique characteristics, something like that? And I think you need to kind of get into that. If you had to do the speech again, for instance, and we just said, okay, you can't read any of the statistics, you know all that information, just tell us about what's going on there. I think you could probably make it a more interesting speech. You know, you could maybe throw in some of those details as you go along, but it's going to be less about, you know, the statistics and the facts and the history, and it's going to be more about, you know, here's something that's pretty amazing about the dam. Here's something about the lake that's unique, and here's a way that you can kind of feel it and see it. And here's what people have written about Rainbow Bridge, but here's how I felt when I saw it, you know, that kind of thing. And I think it'd be a lot more interesting that way. All right.